Hi guys and welcome back to League 11. What a day it has been at the Gabba. The first day of the Ashes have finally concluded and I'm here to discuss, review and just relay the events with you once again. I'm sure you must have heard by now that England is off to a terrible start and Australia off to a bang. Now, Joe Root, the England captain, new captaincy of course, he won the toss and he surprisingly elected to bat first. Now, why is this surprising? It's because the pitch of the Gabba is a little greener than usual because of the rain, and it's showing some kind of movement that probably favors the bowling side a bit more. So I would have guessed that whoever won the toss would surely pick to bowl first, to field first, but Joe Root has not done that. Another decision from England that left most viewers stunned is that this test game is going to be played with no Anderson as well as no Broad. This is the first game without Anderson and Broad since Boxing Day of 2006. So, of course, people were wondering where these decisions are coming from, and of course, Joe Root's first captaincy. Let's see if he's able to change his stature as captain soon enough, because right now it's not looking very good for him. Now let's talk about the start of the game, the absolutely crazy start of the game. The first ball of the first test match of the Ashes this year was a wicket taken by Mitchell Starc. Immediately, the build up, the hype, everyone just so excited for the game to begin. And then Starc bowls out Rory Burns. Rory Burns being a sure shot opener, someone England was very confident in, but he's out for Golden Duck. So that's absolutely unbelievable. The second wicket to be taken is that of Malans. It's a catch and it's on a really smart ball by Hazelwood. And I think I did expect a great performance from Hazelwood this time, and he did deliver. So the catch was taken by Alex Carey, and it was his first game as a wicketkeeper for Australia. And I'm sure he was enthralled by the fact that he was, finally in the game and got his first catch. Now, after this dismissal, Joe Root, the England captain, arrives, hoping to just kind of form a ground and a place where he could score some runs for England, which were much needed at that time. But Joe Root is not able to, establish that stronghold, and again, a dismissal takes place, and this one is taken by Cummins, and Cummins takes this by a very difficult ball to play, and it's taken as a catch at the third slip by Marnus Labuschagne, and it's a great catch, of course. So that's another dismissal for England, and they're looking to be in a really tricky spot at this time. And then we see Nathan Lyon coming on. Now Nathan Lyon is looking for his 400th test wicket, and he bowls and he attempts to get to that goal, but unfortunately he can't, and the bowling changes. And then finally lunch is announced at 1 o'clock approximately, and lunch goes off, and the final score at lunch is 59 runs for England and 4 wickets down. So quite atrocious, I'd say. Now we feel like maybe after lunch England will be in a place to come back or to establish some stability, but Cummins strikes yet again his first over after lunch, and we see 6 dismissals in the approximately 27th over. So it's crazy, and this dismissal is a little more unsettling, especially because this was an opener who was here and we thought he was here to stay, and Hamid is taken out by Cummins. Now that leaves us at 60 runs for England with 5 wickets down at the 27th over. Now finally we see some kind of stability from England, from Butler and Pope. Now they have a little partnership established and they're going, slowly but steadily. So we think we're going to be seeing some runs developing and building up. But unfortunately, that partnership is again destroyed by Stark, and Butler is taken out after a 50-run partnership with Pope. We see the other partner of this partnership also being taken out shortly by Cameron Green. Now, this is Cameron Green's first wicket, test wicket ever, and it was, you could see clearly the excitement in his face when that wicket was taken and Ollie Pope was dismissed at 35 runs. Now comes the 44th over, and yet again Cummins strikes with his third wicket. He takes Robinson out for a duck, another duck, of course. Now it's a really tricky place for England to be, and you could see the pressure catching up. But I would like to commend Wokes and Wood, because it was towards the end of the innings, and you could see it was towards the end of the batting order that these two fast bowlers were playing completely freely, and they hit quite a few boundaries, and that too was disrupted yet again by Cummins with his fourth wicket. Now, after this fourth wicket, we see that England is at 144 runs and 9 wickets down. Not very promising, not very satisfying. I can see that English viewers were probably very disheartened at this moment. Now, this fourth wicket was caught by Harris at the short leg. Now we think that, okay, maybe Cummins is done for the day, but no, he takes away the final wicket, his fifth wicket of the game. And this is at 147 runs for England. This fast bowling captain has really outdone himself on his first day here at the Ashes. And we see him so confident and playing like he knew he was going to come and take 5 of these wickets. Truly commendable and just amazing. Now, since this innings has ended at 147, we think that Australia will come back and play, but unfortunately, there is a rain delay and we see heavy rain. So it is postponed and tea is declared. Now, when we go to tea, we think, okay, maybe we'll get to see a little more cricket because rain seems to be stopping and the covers seem to be coming off for a little bit of time. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and the day has been declared as over. So there'll be no more cricket at the Ashes today. But of course, we're going to be seeing more enthralling and amazing cricket tomorrow. I'm going to guess. And this is the third time out of the past 5 times that England has been bowled out for under 160 runs in the past 5 test games against Australia, and just it's definitely so sad and almost heartbreaking to see. But let's see how England copes up and how they turn this around for themselves. It's going to be interesting, and I'm going to be there to report every way of it.